It was 12:27 when the second bomb exploded on Bridge Street. Tim was standing next to the bin which contained the bomb and took the full blast. Johnathan was hit by shrapnel on the other side of the street. It's really difficult as a mother to be able to deal with seeing your child hurt. I think seeing your child in hospital after such a major incident, covered in bandages, knowing that they may not survive, but hoping upon hope that they will, is really difficult. And all there was this horrible smell, which we learnt afterwards was the smell of the Semtex.
He was an ordinary boy from an ordinary family in an ordinary town, when along with Jonathan Ball he suffered an extraordinary and terrible fate. If my son becomes a symbol for peace and gives everyone a new sense of hope after so much tragedy, then that will be Tim's unique achievement.
When we lost Tim, the only terrorism that was of note that the British government and British society had to worry about was Irish Republican terrorism.
Oh my shit!
London's entire underground network has been closed after an explosion at Aldgate Underground Station in the east of the city.
Abandoned the resistance against Israel, and that it has improved its military capabilities in recent years. Another official said that these parades were in response to the decision by Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to return to negotiations with Israel.
How did Jihadi John change from being an ordinary fighter to being the Islamic State's executioner?
The growth in international terror has been considerable. And of course, of direct concern to all of us is the fact that there are many young British men and women who are engaging with the likes of ISIS, whether it's young women going out to be jihadi brides or whether it's young men who are minded to become fighters. This is a considerable threat to British society and Western society.
Extremism hasn't changed, but the world's becoming a more dangerous place. The effects of the far right and Islamism, peace is a very difficult concept to retain for the long term. Think is really about working with young people and helping them when they may feel at risk from the pernicious thoughts of extremism or radicalisation, trying to help them to challenge those thoughts and those ideologies, and trying to help them to come up with their own way of thinking about things.
The Senator has taught me not to be a sheep, be a shepherd. It's one of them where I'm not going to follow the group, I'll do my own thing and find out what's right or wrong.
Another project is called Women Building Peace. This project has been funded by the European Union. It involves working with around 60 to 70 women in the first year. These are people from various communities across the north of England, and where we're bringing them together so that they can learn skills in being able to resolve conflict and to really create a social movement for change, to influence change in their own homes and in their own communities and their own society.
Through the Women Building Peace project, I've said it many times and I'm saying it again, it just changed my whole life, because when I came here to where I live now, I was really down. I was really sad, and I said I was suicidal, but they were there for me. They helped me through my experiences and they pushed me to integrate into this society again and to gain my confidence back.
The project we're perhaps best known for is called Survivors for Peace. This is a project that brings together those affected by terrorism, political violence and war. It also is a brave project because it brings people to us that have perhaps been involved in perpetrating violence in the past.
The fact that if we have met up by some quirk of fate back then, we don't know who would have come out of that alive. I mean, you know, because you'd have been shooting at each other and both of you would have been shooting at me and I would have been shooting at both of you.
I was on the same carriage of the Piccadilly line train where the explosion happened, probably about 20 feet away from the explosion. So I was very lucky. There were 25 people dead in that carriage, so I think I'm only here today because of the human shield.
If we are to break the cycle of violence, then we know we must act early. Governments alone cannot affect terrorism and cannot stop it, and most of their approach is around security. What we do is we work in the prevention, the resolution and response to violent conflict. That means that we're acting early within families, within homes, within schools, within colleges, universities, wherever the effects of extremism or radicalisation can take home. An organisation like the Foundation for Peace can actually go in and work.
So despite the fact that we are well recognised and highly regarded by agencies of the government and indeed European bodies, we can't turn a blind eye to the fact we need more support. We need public support. We need the recognition that we are doing a unique and a very important job. So I appeal to anybody watching this film to actually help us in any way they can, because without support, our future is always under threat.